Hello, and for my research project, I chose to do mine over marriage ceremonies in the face of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. In the first three paragraphs of my research project, I chose to do mine over the history of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, just kind of giving a little bit of a background of the history of the three major religions of the world. Christianity is the most widely practiced religion in the world, with more than 2 billion followers around the globe, and it stems into Roman Catholicism, Protestantism, Lutheranism, Angelicism, and Pentecostal, just being some of the branches of the major faith of the world. The second most practiced religion of the world is Islam, with around nearly 1.8 billion followers around the globe, and historians believe that the Islamic religion is one of the youngest religions of the world, dating back to the 7th century AD, which would make it the youngest religion in the world. And for my third religion, Judaism, I gave a little bit of a history about this one, kind of dating back nearly 4,000 years ago, making it the world's oldest religion. However, it only has a following of about 14 million people around the globe, and most of those followers tend to live in the United States or in Israel itself. The marriage ceremonies between the three faiths were pretty much similar from what that I have found. Um, in the Christian faith, it is mostly marriage is mostly upon building a family between a man and a woman, and that at, on marriage day you will see the bride walking down the aisle to meet the groom, and at this ceremony they tend to exchange vows with one another. They promise to stay they promise to stay loyal to each other through good and bad times, and sickness and health, until death do they part. And they seal these vows with the ring on each other's hands. Now, most of these weddings take place in a Christian church with the cross and the Holy Bible present, and the bride tends to wear a white dress and a white veil, signifying, symbolizing the bride's clean heart, and the man tends to wear a black tie and black suit. Muslim weddings vary extremely according to the people involved in them. A lot of people are old-fashioned, and a lot of people are a little bit more of reformist in the Muslim faith. However, they all tend to revolve around a feast, what is known as a walima, and walima is a party that is specifically purposed for announcing the publicity of the marriage. In the Islamic faith, according to Raku Masgood of BBC.com, marriages are not allowed to be performed in secret, and that they need to be publicized to the world. And brides in this religion tend to wear a white dress as well, and a white veil, and grooms tend to wear a black tie and a black suit. In the Jewish wedding ceremonies, they are no exception to weddings as well. According to Jane Herman with ReformedJudaism.com, although there are many laws and traditions associated with the wedding itself, other rituals take place in the weeks leading up to the big day. After the couples announce their engagement, that's when a ritual known as Tenema is performed. Tenema involves breaking the plate to symbolize the destruction of temples in Jerusalem. Teneum is also practiced at the wedding ceremony by using a wine glass instead of a plate. And the reason that I found as to why they do this, it is to always forget that the temples in Jerusalem were targets of vandalism, and they break the wine glass and they break the plate to symbolize the pain that people from the past in Judaism have felt at the destruction of the synagogues in Israel. Some of the similar traits that I found that during this research project was that all the brides tend to wear a white dress, and the grooms tend to wear a black tie and a black suit. And from what I can see on all parts of them, is that they all exchange vows in the wedding ceremonies. A few similarities that I found was that in Judaism, most people tend to stick with tradition rather than they do in Islamic and Christianity weddings. And another thing that I found that was different between the Christian faith versus Islam and Judaism is that in the past, arranged marriages tended to be a little bit more practiced than what they are today, but they did happen. And one thing that I came to the conclusion on is that while the religions are different in some of their beliefs, is that religion have they are important to all of us, and that they bring us all together. And I think it's important that we never forget that.